Thank you for downloading ManageEngine ServiceDesk Plus. In this video, we are going to showcase the ITIL modules, automations, workflows, and integration capabilities that ManageEngine ServiceDesk Plus offers. ServiceDesk Plus has three editions. The Standard Edition, which has Incident Management, Reporting, Knowledge Base, and Self-Service Portal. The Professional Edition has all the modules that the Standard Edition has, along with Asset Management, Purchase, and Contracts. The Enterprise Edition is our ITIL suite. It has the Request Management, Problems, Change Management, Asset Management, Knowledge Base, Reporting, Contracts, Purchase, Integrations, and all other capabilities along with workflows in the Enterprise Edition. ServiceDesk Plus also has ESM capabilities, where right within one installation of ServiceDesk, you can easily create ServiceDesk instances for different business functions. Each instance can have its own license and it can vary between Standard Edition, a Professional Edition, or an Enterprise Edition. Each of these instances can have their own templates, they can have their own workflows, their own set of users, categorizations, and a lot more. With ESM, we provide a single repository where right from within the ESM directory, you can manage all your users that are common for your entire organization operations. Then all general settings that are common for your entire ServiceDesk Plus operations can be managed in one place. You can create different ServiceDesk instances within less than 60 seconds and share it to users. Each instance can have their own set of users. You can either select users by criteria, defining between departments and sites, or you can bring in all the users from within your organization. ESM offers a customizable ESM portal, using which the ESM portal can be customized for both users and technicians. Users can have access to their own ESM portal and they'll have access to the instances that they are authorized to view. End users can choose between the instances, choose the list of templates, fill in the tickets, and submit the request. They can also switch between different help desks and also access the ESM portal. Now we have discussed about what ServiceDesk Plus offers, what are the additions ServiceDesk Plus offers, and the ESM capability. Let's go ahead and look into the concept on how request management is handled in ServiceDesk Plus. To effectively discuss the request management, I'm going to introduce you to John, who is the end user, and Catherine, who is an administrator who is going to help us navigate through this entire request management process. When a user logs in or when a technician logs in, they are directed to the ESM portal. But if I'm a technician, I will be directed right into the help desk where I'm a technician. The end user can access one of the instances and they will be directed to the homepage of that instance. The homepage has a customizable HTML section along with a customizable widgets that can be controlled and managed by the technician. The end user can search for templates, or they could report an incident or a service, or they can even view the solutions from the list of knowledge base articles that are published and approved for the end users. The end user can get access to the service catalog or the request catalog. They will have the wide range of categories published, and under each category they will have their own list of services available for them. After choosing the template, if it is a service request, they will have the SLA predefined to set the right expectations. There is a help card which can be customized by the admin upon defining the template so that it would help the user to understand what they are supposed to do while filling out a form. John chooses the user onboarding form. John is going to fill in the details, and using our form customization feature called Field and Form Rules, the intelligence is built right within the form where the fields are populated upon a user selection. Once the form is complete, John can click on Add Request and the request is now being further processed. Once the request is created, using our workflows such as Request Lifecycle, John can get an update on what is the current status of the request, where the approval is pending, the status of the request is on hold. He gets to know what's the expected date of completion of this particular ticket, along with other details that he has filled in. Now, not just through the self-service portal, John can email the help desk when there is an incident, so that's another way of creating a ticket into ServiceDesk Plus, as well as he can chat with the technician. and upon completing the chat, the technician gets an option to convert this chat conversation into a ticket. So from the request module, John can view all the other tickets that he has created so far. He can view the status, he can reply to the ticket if there's any further information that he would like to share, add notes, or add an attachment to this particular request, which would be helpful for the technician. A global search that's available that helps users, either end users or technicians, to easily search the application, and based on the end users' roles and responsibilities, they would get access to the change module or the projects module. Also, there is a knowledge base section that's available for the end users where they could get an update on all the published and approved knowledge base articles. From the Home tab, the users can get an update on what are the popular solutions that they could easily use, and right before creating a ticket, they could get to know what are the actual happenings in the organization. So any announcements that the admins can configure and publish to the organization, they will be listed right for the end users update. Also, the end users can view their request summary, and if there are any tickets that's waiting their approval, they can take decisions right from their home page. In ServiceDesk Plus, admins can configure different templates for their end users. As we saw earlier, we had a service template where John created a user onboarding ticket and the request is being created and processed. Likewise, for incidents, there can be multiple templates that the admins can create for their end users. Each template can have their own mandatory fields, and using these set of fields, we could decide priority. And using the priority, we could automate SLAs, and with the SLAs, we could set the right set of escalations to ensure that the request has been handled and completed on time. Also, when an end user is creating a ticket, based on the available, approved, and published knowledge base articles and announcements matching the subject of the request the user is creating, we would automatically populate those information right to the users. This helps users to educate themselves on what is happening so that they could cancel the request or continue further in creating the ticket. Now that we have seen what are the offerings that a self-service portal offers the organization users, and we have also seen John has created a request, let us navigate into Catherine's account and see how she could effectively manage the incoming requests. When technicians log in, the technicians could be a coordinator, a help desk admin, or a project manager. When they log in, and if they are a technician in any one of the service desk instances, they would have access right into the particular help desk. Now for this demo purpose, I'm navigating it through the ESM portal. So Catherine goes right into the IT help desk, and Catherine gets access to the home page. Let's take a quick look at what are the features and options that the home page offers. From the home page, Catherine can get a quick view of their summary. The summary of their tickets, changes, their tasks that's pending, the approvals that's awaiting their decision, any reminders, company-wide announcements, and a lot more. This particular homepage can be customized for requesters and technicians. Using the scheduler, Catherine can go ahead and define if there are any tasks that would need their attention. Using the scheduler, Catherine can view the pending requests, the tasks. She can also choose between sites, groups, and technicians to get a view on how the other technicians' calendars look like. Also, there is a backup chart to know who are the backup technicians configured. You can also check the available technicians from the technician availability chart. And here is all the list of technicians based on the logged in technicians access. And also just to check who are all the logged in technicians, she can make use of the logged in technicians feature. And backup approver is where I can easily view who are all the technicians that's available for backup approval process. Dashboards lists the available widgets based on the access each and every technician holds. Since Catherine is an admin where she has access to all the ITIL modules, she gets access to dashboards for help desk, problem and change, assets, projects, and also you could create customized dashboards and have them available for the technicians. Each of these dashboards are dependent based on the modules that each technician have access to. You could also build in new dashboards or widgets, embed URLs so that you could bring in different type of widgets right within your ServiceDesk Plus. From the Request tab, Catherine gets a single view where she could view between all her pending tasks and her tickets. Now from the request list view, she could customize. From the request list view, she could use between the filters on tasks or create new custom filters for tasks. She could hide the filter for tasks completely and view only the request data. With the wide range of requests coming in, Quadrant can quickly filter between incident or service requests, or she can also create more custom filters to serve her needs. There are a couple of bulk operations that Quadrant or any technician can perform. From the actions, you could close, edit, or merge duplicate tickets or link similar tickets easily. Also, if you have a spreadsheet of data that you wanted to import right into ServiceDesk Plus, you can import those requests right into the request module. Also, for quick references, you could bulk export requests right from within ServiceDesk Plus. You could use search or advanced search to build in your quick search options. You could also color code your incoming requests, and you could define it based on a particular value of the request. So based on status, I've created a color coding option so that once I've created my color settings, all incoming requests based on statuses are color coded. This helps technicians to quickly gain attention to certain set of requests and work on it immediately. Now that we have seen what are the general operations that Quadrant or any help desk technician can work on the request module, let's go back to the new joinee request that John created and see what are the other options we get right within a request. So once Quadrant accesses the request that was created by John, Quadrant can still see a list of tickets on our left-hand side. This window is totally customizable, where you could pin or unpin this window so that the window doesn't stay long. You can also choose between different filters to quickly view what type of request you want. So basically, when you're working on a ticket, you can get updates on what are the other tickets that is being created. The new joinee request that John created has a lot of details on it, along with the resource questions, the general information of the ticket, which has been sorted based on different titles. Then there is this user information on the right-hand side section. Here is a separate section where the request can either be associated to a change ticket or to a project ticket or to a purchase order. Also, if it is an incident ticket, you will also get options to associate it to a problem ticket. Also, you can share this request to other technicians to work on this particular ticket, or you can also share this ticket between technician groups and with the users of the system. I can even share it to any user even though they don't belong to this ticket or they don't belong to this particular site where the request is created from, thus helping the users to be a part of this ticket and help the technician to work on this particular ticket. Apart from SLAs and field and form rules, there are a lot more automations that you could use in the system. For instance, here is Request Lifecycle. Request Lifecycle helps you to build life cycles to explain how a request from the time of creation till the time of completion works. So it's purely based on the status of the ticket. Now this new joinee request has to be approved in order for this to navigate further. Apart from SLAs and field and form rules, there are a lot more automations that is offered by ServiceDesk Plus. For instance, when a request has been sent for approval, the request stays on hold automatically, so this avoids the SLA violation. Quadrant can approve the request right from within the request, or she can also approve it through the email which has been triggered by the system, or she can also reply back to the approval email, and using Zia, which is our artificial intelligence, the system automatically changes the request status to approved. Now once the request has been approved, the status changes to approved, the ticket is now open and it is ready for further processing. The other operations that Quadrant can do right from within this request is navigate through tasks. For a user onboarding process, there are going to be tons of tasks along with their dependencies. So here is a simple workflow that you could define right from the time the ticket is created, what are the tasks that needs to be triggered and how it needs to be completed. So once the created request is approved and the tasks are triggered to the different owners to work and complete their activities, they could track all their work done using the work logs. Here is the time analysis chart that helps Quadrant or any other technician who have access to this ticket to understand how the request has progressed. History gives access to a wide range of activities that has happened in this particular request. There is filters and options to sort for easy referencing. Once the request's activities are done and if it's ready for completion, the technicians can go ahead and resolve the request, and using our auto close options, if all the tasks on a ticket are completed or resolved, the request automatically moves to resolved status. This gives the end users an opportunity to go over the work done by the technician, and if they are satisfied, the end users can close the ticket. If they fail to do so, the system will auto close this request based on the auto closure options that you could configure right within the admin section. So now that we have seen how an end user can create a request and how a technician can work on this request using different options that ServiceDesk Plus offers, we have seen how a request can be successfully completed. Now this is the same level of operation that you could do on both incident and service request. All configurations regarding to the request management can be configured under the admin section. We have general configurations such as the help desk customizer. We have incident-based configurations. We have different type of templates. We have automations such as business rules, request lifecycle, chat options. We have service level agreements, and the same level of configuration is available for service request management. Solutions, the knowledge management in ServiceDesk Plus. Using the Solutions tab, technicians or admins can add knowledge base articles which will be referenced by end users and their fellow technicians into one place. The solutions for end users can be referenced in their self-service portal when they log in and access the Solutions tab, or from the home page of the end users. And finally, while reporting a new incident, right when they type in the subject line, based on the available solutions or announcements, the solution information is populated. To add a new solution, click on Add New, where the technicians can fill in the title and the content of this particular solution, define the topics under which it has to be categorized, add keywords, so based on which it helps the users to search the knowledge base, define the owner responsible for the solution, set the review dates so that the solution is verified and approved accordingly, and make sure to add comments and publish it to the end user self-service portal if this involves end users participation. Finally, add and approve the solution. Only approved and published solution will be listed for the end users. All approved solution is integrated with a green dot, and published solution is integrated with a lock that is open. The technicians can also manage their topics. This way, they can edit, delete, add, or sort the parent and child relationship from the Manage Topics section. This way, only relevant solutions and their topics are listed, and all redundant topics can be removed. The solution approval has to be done by only specific technicians who have privileges, and these privileges are controlled by the Roles section in the Admin tab. When a technician is working on an incident ticket, the technician can access the Resolutions tab. This way, system populates solutions based on the keywords matching the data on the request. Now, technicians can go over all the solution that is being populated and wish to add them, say yes, copy to resolution, or say no and add comments. Previously tried solution will be listed under the tried solution, which will be helpful for the technician, or the technician can directly go ahead, add the resolution, and while completing the ticket, they could say save and add to solutions. So this way, the added resolution is now also not only available in the ticket, but it is created as a knowledge base into the solutions database. From the Solutions tab, if I'm an approver, I can approve or reject solutions right from the Actions section. And also, if I have a spreadsheet of data that I would need to import into ServiceDesk Plus, I can import solutions right into ServiceDesk Plus. Using solution settings, I can move solutions to unapproved sections, mark them as expired, or leave it as such. So this way, I can have an up-to-date solutions database right within my ServiceDesk Plus. So we have seen how solutions can be manually added or imported through a spreadsheet, manage the topics, and define the relevant data to manage solutions effectively. Problem management helps you to figure out root cause of issues and consolidate all relevant incident tickets right within one place. A problem request can directly be created from the problem tab by filling in all the details, and also the category, subcategory, and the request classifications for a problem ticket is as same as how we handle incident or service request. For defining a problem, we need to associate the services that is affected, and these are list of services that is being populated from the service category. Also, the assets involved helps us to associate all the assets that are part of this particular problem ticket. Fill in all the details and create a new problem ticket, and the created problem ticket would have all the details, the description, and every details that has been filled in. Apart from creating the problem ticket from the problem tab, an incident ticket can be associated to a problem ticket that is already created, or create a new problem ticket right from within an incident ticket. These are the ways a problem ticket can be created in ServiceDesk Plus. Now, once the problem ticket is created, and if it is created from an incident ticket, the incident is automatically associated to the problem ticket. Now, using the analysis tab, we can break down this particular problem and add the impact of the particular problem, the root cause, and the symptoms of this particular problem. In this case, the root cause of the problem is defined in detail. After figuring out a workaround or a solution, you can add that into the Solutions tab. After defining the data, you can also decide if this needs to be added into the knowledge base. You can define the topics. You can add the keywords, so when an end user is creating an incident based on the keywords, the solution is populated. Add the review dates, define the owner, publish this particular information in the self-service portal if required, and save and approve this knowledge article right into the application. Once the solution is done, you can add tasks to complete this particular problem ticket. During the course of a problem analysis, if you need to populate any announcements to the users, you could make use of the Actions section to mark an announcement. You can define the announcement, set the dates until which the announcement has to be published, show to the users, and if it is for a specific group of users, choose the user groups. If you decide to send this as an email as well, choose send this announcement as an email and save the announcement. So this way, a global communication has been sent to both the end users and the technicians, and also an email is triggered. At any point of time, you could also notify the incident technicians and the requesters who are being impacted by this particular problem. So all the users and technicians of tickets associated into the incident section will be notified. Once the problem is completely addressed and once the problem is ready to be closed, you can go ahead and close this particular problem. Upon closing, the problem closure rules come into effect. So this way, while closing a problem, using the problem closure rules, you can define what actions should happen. You can close all associated incident tickets that are part of this problem. You can email the users and technicians who are affected by this problem and who are working in this problem, and copy problem solution and workaround to all the associated incidents. This way, within simple steps, you can communicate the action to all the end users, technicians, update all the incident tickets, and close them. We have now understood what problem management features that ServiceDesk Plus offers. Change management. Using change management in ServiceDesk Plus, you can authorize, validate, and ensure all planned changes are being set in motion. This ensures to avoid any redundant or unauthorized changes from being implemented. Change management in ServiceDesk Plus involves both technicians and end users. What are the triggers for creating a change record? A new service or an incident ticket may lead to create a new change ticket. So, right from within an incident or a service ticket, you can either create a new change record or search for an existing change record and associate them. Also, from a problem record, I can create a new change. While I'm creating a change record from a problem or an incident ticket or a service ticket, all details and data from that particular ticket are carried into the change record. Finally, a new change record can be created right from within the Change tab. I can choose between different templates based on which the change workflow is associated to the change template, and whatever fields that are already predefined or added to this particular change template is populated. Fill in the fields, add title, description, and create a new change. Also, we can define roles, which includes both end users and technicians, and decide who needs to be part of this particular change ticket from creation to completion. A created change record has all the change details, including the assets involved and the services affected, the change roles, including the change requester, the owner, the approver, the change manager, and any other parts of roles that needs to be played by different users. We can add these roles and assign users and map them right to the template. The change management in ServiceDesk Plus is controlled by 4 different factors. Number 1, it's the change template. You can build in different templates and have any type of fields that you require on the templates. These templates are created under the admin section, and they are as similar to an incident or a service template. Factor 2 is the workflow that you tie to a change template. Each change record has its own workflow. So based on the type of a change, you can decide what stages the change has to travel through. So all these stages and the transactions are being controlled by the workflow, preventing the users from editing a completed stage or acting on a stage that is yet to be acted on. Factor 3 is going to be stage and status. For each of these fixed stages, so ServiceDesk offers 6 stages which are fixed, and for each of these stages, you have actions that you could work on. So for this particular stage, it should either be approved or rejected, based on which the change moves forward. And the last factor is going to be the roles. To work on the stage and status, which is associated to a change workflow, which in turn is associated to a change template, is completely being controlled by the roles. You could create different roles in ServiceDesk Plus, which can be played by different users. It could be an end user or it could be a technician, and there are certain roles such as change owner, which is only for technicians. Now you can add these roles, and upon creating a change record, you can define who needs to be part of this particular change. This way, only the restricted set of users will have access to the change record. And by the way, if the role includes an end user, as John is part of this file and folder access change request, he can view this particular change record. And not just view, since that John is now a part of the review team as well as the implementation team, he gets access to modify or add records into these sections. But if he is trying to work on planning stage where the change is yet to move to it, or in the submission stage where John is not part of this particular stage, he cannot make any modifications to this particular change record. So now we have discussed about the main 4 factors. We have seen how the change record is represented from the end user's portal. We have seen how the change record is represented from the technician's portal. Now let's take a quick look and see how the change progresses. Each and every stage has to be approved. Only on approval of a stage, the change moves to the next stage. Upon traveling from one stage to the other, no data from the previous section can be changed. or no data in the future sections can be added or removed. So the change has to wait until it reaches the respective stage. The status denotes what's the current progress of this particular stage. Approvals are required to change the stage from one stage to the other, and if the logged-in user does not have option to approve or reject, then they would not be able to make any changes to the change. During the course of the change, I can send notifications or make an announcement to the organization. This basically will come into effect when working upon the implementation stage. So here is a change record that I would like to refer, where the change has traveled from submission stage to planning, and again, planning offers a wide range of sections, just like how we worked on the analysis section of a problem. You can add impact, rollout plan, backout plan. If you have a checklist of activities that you would like to do on this particular change, you could go ahead and add them. You could define the downtime, what's going to be the available downtime for this particular change to roll out. So all these data that has been proposed in the planning stage is sent forward for the approval. Approval can be of two ways. I can either have all my CAB members vote for this particular change based on which the change gets approved, or the change approver or the change owner gets to decide the approval of this particular stage. This can be done by either the CAB team or the change approver or the change owner. Once the change is approved, it's ready for implementation. So implementation is carried out in two different ways. One, through all the tasks and its dependencies. And during the implementation stage, the downtime has been referenced so that the team is aware when the change has to be completed. Or if the implementation is really huge, where I need to involve too many members to be part of the particular change, I can create it as a project and implement this particular change through projects. Also, I can associate more than one project to this particular change. Also, since the change is now into the implementation stage, you can make announcements beforehand, educate the organization about what is going to happen, communicate the downtime, make the transparency clear so that there are no incident tickets being created exactly during the downtime. Also, during the planning stage, you can associate incident tickets, service tickets, or problem tickets for reference, which is again a part of a data consolidation that helps the CAB team or the approvers to take decisions accordingly. Once the change is implemented, it finally moves to the review stage, where the reviewer has to document all details of this particular change. They have to document the progress, the completion of it, how many incidents were created, or did everything go according to plan, what was the downtime. They have to document all this data, and then finally the change is closed. So this way, the change has a 6-stage process, and each of these stages are being controlled by the workflow, and the workflow is being played by roles where different members are involved for different type of changes, and each one ensures that their activity is done and the change moves on further. During the course of the entire change process, any communication that's happening between the user and the application is being documented into the conversation section. All system-based notifications are being tracked, as well as if there are any communication between the users, they are tracked as conversation right within the conversation section of a change. History of the change holds data on every transaction that happens on each and every stage of a change. Also, any value changes, modifications, or additions are being captured in the history. This way, we have now discussed about an airtight change management process in ServiceDesk Plus. Also, all admin configurations such as templates, workflows, change SLAs, field and form rules for change are added and managed by the admins in the admin section. Project management. Project management in ServiceDesk Plus helps you to create and manage all IT projects in one place. Project management can be accessed by both end users and technicians. In project management, an end user can create new projects. They can be a project admin, where they could be part of creating a project and be involved until completion. And likewise, a technician or an administrator can also work on projects right from creation to completion. The scope of a new project can also arise from the implementation stage of a change. If the implementation of a change involves more members and requires a lot of time and it needs a detailed plan to implement the entire change process, it can be created as a project, or a project by itself can be created to track and manage all IT projects. For creation of a new project, you can provide all details of a project along with the project code, the scheduled start time and end time, the actual details, the estimated hours, the estimated cost, and all additional information about this particular project, and create it. Apart from just creating a project, you can also create projects from different templates. Each of these templates can be configured in the admin section and package it with different milestones and tasks along with different details. Once a project is created, this is how a created project looks like. This project is created, it has all the project details, the information specific to this particular project, and it has the dates set on this particular project. Once the project is created, you could add members to this particular project. Adding a member is quite easy. Choose add members, choose between end users and technicians, or you could choose all. Define the project role, and the project roles have admin, manager, team leader, and team member. Project admin can create and manage projects. Project manager can work on projects which are assigned to them. Team leader can work on the milestones of a project, and team member can work on the tasks of a project. Also, you can define roles for this particular project alone by choosing the users and mapping the project role. Also, you can assign project roles for each of these users while working on the user management section in the admin tab. Once a project is created, you can break down the projects into milestones and tasks. And once we have defined the milestones and tasks, each of these tasks can have its own task dependencies, as we have seen in the service catalog section. Each of these tasks can have its own tasks and task dependencies. Also, there is a timesheet where, upon completion of each of the tasks, their work logs can be captured in one place, and that is reflected in the timesheet. Gantt view helps us to understand how is this project progressing. For this particular project, there is a comparison between the milestones and tasks, where I could easily view all the dependencies between the tasks, and I could choose between members and milestones or tasks. So I could see what are all the tasks for each of the members. I can also see what are the dependencies between those tasks. I can also switch between milestones, and I can see what are all the tasks for each milestone. Associations tab is going to have details of all tickets that are being created upon this project implementation. So they can be associated over here, and if there is any change that is associated as a part of this particular project, they will be reflected into the association section. During the course of this particular project, if one wishes to get an overview of this particular project, they can just quickly click on this gear symbol and click on Project Overview Map. The map can be exported, minimized, or maximized, and using this map, one can understand how this particular project is supposed to branch out. Also, from an existing project, I can quickly create a project template which will be stored in the admin section, as well as I can associate change or incident tickets right into this particular project. I can track the completion of milestones and tasks right from within the project details page. From the project list view, I could switch between different project filters, or I could build a new custom filters for my project. If you have Microsoft Project and if you want to import data right into ServiceDesk Plus, you can use Import MS Project option and import the projects. End users can also view the projects based on the role that is associated on their profile, or based on the role that is defined while adding members to a project. Based on the roles and privileges, the end users can also work on the projects, add data, or manage data accordingly. Here is a Gantt chart that helps you to compare between all the projects and its milestones or tasks. So I could choose all projects, I can choose to see all the tasks, or based on different filters, I can filter tasks accordingly. With this, we have now seen how to create IT projects, what are the triggers for a project, how an end user and a technician can be involved in a project. Asset management. We are going to discuss how, using ServiceDesk Plus, we can manage hardware and software assets in one place. ServiceDesk Plus has capability to scan all your IT infrastructure assets using different scanning techniques, sort them as virtual machines, track and manage non-IT assets which are not scannable, track components, and software that is installed on all machines that can be scanned are fetched and managed in one place, learn assets, create and generate barcodes, and group your different assets. First thing, let's take a look at how to scan different type of assets into ServiceDesk Plus. There are 3 different type of scan that ServiceDesk Plus offer. One is for scanning all your Windows machines, which includes workstations and servers. Create, configure, and deploy Windows Agent to all your Windows machines to scan Windows machines. Set your domain scan to periodically scan all your Windows machines through Agent and fetch the information. Using the network scan, you can scan your entire network, which holds different range of devices which are not Windows operating system, but they are pingable in your network. To scan a wide range of devices using network scan, add all the type of credentials into your credential library and then use these credentials into your network scan. Finally, you can configure distributed asset scan to scan assets from different geographical locations where ServiceDesk Plus server cannot reach. To deploy distributed asset scan, you need to install Asset Explorer as a remote probe. You can contact our sales team for license on the Asset Explorer probe. And in that probe, you can configure the domain and the network scan as how you do it on the central server. Set the probe to push the information to the central server. You can also use SCCM integration to fetch information from SCCM right into ServiceDesk Plus. Now that you have defined different scanning techniques and also integrated with SCCM, the asset information is now populated right into the Assets tab. The assets are classified into IT assets, non-IT assets, and components. That is being configured in the admin section under Product and Product Types. Now, IT Assets section has to be licensed, which means that you should purchase licenses in order for managing IT assets. So always consider the assets that have IP address that are pingable in your network, which can only be scanned. So they are all your IT assets. So ServiceDesk Plus by default have a wide range of IT asset classification. To add more, you can go ahead and add them into the admin section under Product Types. Next, all scanned assets, so be desktops, laptops, Windows machines, Mac machines, Linux machines, VirtualBox, based on the classification, they are added as workstations or servers right into ServiceDesk Plus. All these assets are successfully scanned, and if the agents are deployed, the agent information is scanned and fetched into ServiceDesk Plus along with the general information of that asset, the hardware information such as the RAM, the memory slots that's available, the drives, the available space, along with software information. So all the software that's installed in the add or remove programs of that particular asset is being fetched right in. Apart from hardware or software information of that specific asset, there are also information related to history, the ownership changes, the hardware and software changes, the CI history changes, so all of them are tracked into the history section. The request tab of an asset denotes the number of incidents or change records or problem records that is created specific for this asset. So right from within one asset, I could track all the details about the incident, change or problem tickets. Contracts for specific assets can be added right into the contract section. Once the asset is successfully scanned, it has the general information such as the IP address, the operating system. Then it also has the hardware asset information specific to the drives, the slot, the motherboard. All components that's part of that asset is listed under the hardware section, and software that's found under the add or remove programs is listed right under the software section. relationship denotes the relationship between the asset and any other components. If the asset is assigned to a user and to their department, the relationships can be tracked from the relationship section. History denotes all the transactions that happens, like the scan status changes, then the ownership changes. All of them are tracked into the history section. Request section denotes the changes that's raised on behalf of that particular asset. The tickets that is created on behalf of those assets are being tracked in the request section. The contract section is associated with the contract that is purchased for the specific asset. Finally, the financials tab holds the purchase information, the cost, any depreciation that is configured for the specific asset or for the model of that asset is reflected under the financials section. Now, within an asset, we have seen what are the details it gathers. Now, we have seen all the common information that is fetched within a single asset. Likewise, the same set of information is available for any other asset that you scan and manage within ServiceDesk Plus. So if it's a printer, it's going to have the same set of information, the relationship, history, the request or change tickets or problem tickets that's created for that specific printer, contracts, financials, and so on. Now we have seen how we could add or scan hardware assets into ServiceDesk Plus. If you wanted to manually add an asset without scanning, you can add new assets through a form or through barcodes, or you can also import data from a spreadsheet. So this way you can add asset information or you can update asset information into ServiceDesk Plus. So we have seen the scanning techniques and we have discussed about the other mechanisms through which you can add assets into ServiceDesk Plus. Now, if the scanned asset is a virtual machine, the hosts and the machines will automatically be filtered using the virtual hosts and VM section. Using barcodes, you can add assets through barcodes. So this typically happens when you purchase assets and it is received by your admin team, and if they need to scan the assets into ServiceDesk Plus, you can make use of barcode scanning. Download and install ServiceDesk Plus mobile app, and using the mobile app you can scan the barcodes. The first step is quite easy. It's using the vendor's barcode. So the barcode that you scan from the box will have the service tag embedded on that. So all you have to do is scan the assets barcode. Once done, choose which product classification this particular asset belongs to. Mark the barcode as a service tag and click on Add Asset. This way, within simple steps, you've not only added the asset into ServiceDesk, but you've also mapped its service tag. So next time upon a successful scan, ServiceDesk is going to identify the service tag of the scanned asset along with the asset that's added to the barcode, overwrite its information by retaining the barcode and all the scanned information from the scanned asset. If you want to generate barcodes manually, you can define the workstation or the server or the type of asset that you wanted to generate barcodes for. Choose the model, add barcodes as service tag, add the prefix and the suffix, generate the barcode. Upon generating the barcode, the asset information is added and you could print the barcodes. Upon generating the barcode, you can print the barcodes and then you can add it to the assets. While printing, choose the type of printer or configure your printer that is required and then print the barcodes. Finally, you can generate barcodes for assets that's already deployed in your network. Choose the product type, define your prefix, define the starting value, add the suffix, and say generate barcodes and associate. Now you can print the barcodes, and upon printing the barcodes, you would get a mapping document based on which you can label the barcodes right against the corresponding asset. Now this way, we have seen how using barcode scanning mechanism, you can add assets right into ServiceDesk Plus. Once all these assets are added, so be it IT or non-IT asset, the information can be found right underneath the respective assets. All the scanned assets can be grouped based on different criteria. You could create new asset groups based on two different conditions. You could create groups based on asset state, so if they are in store, in use, expired, or disposed, you can filter those assets out. Or you could create dynamic groups based on the asset classification, like their model, IP address, operating system, their product type. So using which you can create different filters through dynamic asset groups. So this way you could quickly filter out assets using the asset groups. Using asset loan, you could loan assets to users within your organization. Simply create a new loan by scanning the barcodes or search assets by their name. Add the assets. After adding the assets, define the dates until which they are going to loan the asset. Choose the user who is loaning this particular asset and click on checkout. Once the checkout is done, the loan information is listed over here. The user can extend the loan, return the loan, or you can also email the users who have loaned the asset. Here is a quick summary about the loaned assets. You can also mark assets that are loanable, and you can also quickly filter the assets that have expired the loan. Now we have seen what are the different options that ServiceDesk Plus offers with regards to hardware asset management. Let's take a very quick look at software asset management. All the software that is installed on Windows machines, Linux, Mac machines, or any operating system that you have is, upon successful scan, is stored right under the scan software. All newly identified software will be under licensed and unidentified because ServiceDesk Plus cannot understand the license or detect them automatically. To effectively manage software license, it is quite easy to start with those software for which you have purchased license. Choose the software and it would be under license. You could get to see the installations in which they are installed. The first step is to edit the software. Change the software from unidentified to managed. If they are open source, set it accordingly, and if they are prohibited software, map it as prohibited. So upon the successful scanning, the next time if ServiceDesk figures out a prohibited software, email will be sent to the administrator and the owner of that particular asset. So I'm setting the software as managed. I can define the details such as CI type, category, manufacturer. I click on save. Now, once I update the software from unidentified to managed, my user interface changes. I get details about license, where we are yet to add the license. I have installations, and if these installations belongs to users, I can track the user information separately as well. Now, the first step is to figure out the software for which I need to manage the license, set it to managed. Next step is to add a software license. I go to Actions, Add Software License, and I'm adding a standard license. If the license element I'm adding is eligible for the upgrades, I can then also add upgrade licenses as well. So based on the license type I've purchased, I'm adding the license accordingly. I'm choosing the license option. I'm choosing the installations allowed. I'm adding the license key. I'm setting the acquisition date and the expiry dates. Define the cost value, choose for which department it's purchased for, and click on save. Now, I have the license available. I have the unlicensed installations listed over here, and I can now go ahead and allocate the license. I can choose one at a time or choose all the instances at a time. Click on allocate license, choose the license I've just added, and click on allocate. Now, the license has been allocated successfully from under license. Now my license is compliant. This way, my software is compliant, and in future, any other asset that has the same software installed will be listed under the installation section. The compliance will change to under license, and based on which I can go ahead and manage my licenses accordingly. For this particular software and its license, I can also add the license agreement to ensure timely renewal. I can provide the agreement details. I can provide the acquisition date. So this would be the date that would be set on the particular software license. Then I can provide the purchase details of this particular asset, associate the existing license that I've already purchased, choose the users that needs to be notified upon license expiry, and click on save. This way, with a couple of easy steps, I've not only added the software license, but I've also added the license agreement. So this is the third step. Now we have seen how we could simply create and manage a software license in ServiceDesk through 3 simple steps. Step 1, identify the software and set it to manage. Step 2, add the license. and map it to the workstation. Step 3, add software license agreement to ensure timely renewal. Also, apart from managing individual licenses, you can also create new software suite. This way, using software suite as an option, you can manage suite licenses into ServiceDesk Plus. Provide the name, choose the categorization, choose the component that needs to be part of the suite, define the condition based on which the software components have to be detected, and click on Add Suite. Once the software suite is created, you can then go ahead and add license as we have seen before. There are different filters based on the office locations, based on manufacturers, or based on software type. Using these filters, you can quickly filter different type of software based on different type of conditions for easy reference. Software summary gives you a quick reference on the compliance status based on the software that has been used, based on software that has the license agreement expiry for easy reference. Software licenses is going to list you all the software license that you have purchased and that you own. So using ServiceDesk Plus Asset Management, we have discussed about the scanning techniques that helps us scan different type of workstation into ServiceDesk Plus, classifying product types in ServiceDesk Plus. We have discussed how the scanned assets are reflected, how to manually add assets through barcode, through the form, or through a spreadsheet, and how to effectively manage software license in ServiceDesk Plus. CMDB, Configuration Management Database. CMDB in ServiceDesk Plus helps you to frame relationships between critical CIs of the organization. The data within the CMDB is being fetched from assets, users, user groups and departments, and also from IT service management modules such as requests, problems, and changes. Once you have fully set up your ServiceDesk Plus by managing your users, your assets, defining their technician groups, and all other related entities, then you're ready to configure your CMDB. The best and more efficient way to set up your CMDB is to start by figuring out relationships and dependencies of your business critical entities. Based on the business, these entities could vary. Here is a typical scenario on how to frame a relationship between different entities. Zilker has 2 data centers, and these data centers transfer data between each of them. In order to plan future changes more efficiently and take decisions where the changes are smooth, the data center's CI relationships have to be laid out in ServiceDesk Plus to ensure the change managers or the CAB board can easily view how the relationships exist between each entities of the data center. So to start with, gather all the CIs that's required and mark them in a paper. Once done, using the relationship types and the CI types in the admin section, make sure to add those missing elements that is not listed right underneath the CMDB. Once after they are added, then you can go ahead and start adding your CIs and relationships under the CMDB. So each of these CI info has relationship information, history of that particular CI, the request information, such as how many incident, problem, or change records are being created. If there are any contracts and financial information, they can also be added right within the CMDB. Framing relationships is quite easy. Since it is a critical CI, I can manually hover, click on plus, and start framing my relationships. So these are relationships between different CIs that is listed over here. I can choose the relationship, and I can choose the type of CI, and I can start adding the relationships right from this particular window. Once done, all the relationships are populated. The numbers denote the number of change records, problem records, or incident or service records that are created specific to each of these CI. So this is essential when viewing this record from a change record to understand how many pending problems are still being worked on. This also helps to take decisions to move forward. Now, once the relationships are being set, I can take a deeper view using the tree view or using the cluster view. By clicking on the map, I can now see that from this particular data center, I can check which is the firewall that's being backed up by and what is the primary firewall that this particular data center is connected to. I can check what are the applications and services that is being running, who's the user that is managing this particular data center, and a consolidated list of emergency change, problem, or service records are being listed right over here. Clicking on each entity, I will have my relationships branched out. So, based on all the relationships that I've added, I can easily branch out to understand how each and every element are interconnected with each other. I can choose between different views to easily view my relationships. Apart from tree view, I can also make use of the cluster view. I can click on different entities, branch their relationships for better understanding. If I would like to save this as a business view, I can just go ahead, click on Save as Business View, and I can save it as Data Center, and I can say if it's going to be a private or a public view. I can choose who needs to view it and who needs to have permission, and I can click on Save. Once the business views are saved, so using Business View, I can quickly take a detailed look at how each and every service is being listed and how the relationships exist. Also, I can bulk import relationships and CIs right into my CMDB. Just as how I have added my CIs and relationships manually, I can just go ahead and import this data from a spreadsheet. So the steps to import the relationships through a spreadsheet would be listed. Follow these steps to quickly build in an XLS report and import this data right into my CMDB. Also, from a change record, I'm just going to show you how the CMDB representation looks like. From any change record, if there are services affected and assets involved are added, clicking on this particular tree symbol will help you to view the relationships. So this is a cluster view. Hovering on any of these services, you would get more information and you can branch out any other relationships this particular service or particular asset holds. Likewise, I can view this data from a problem record by clicking on services affected or assets involved. Now we have seen how to build an effective CMDB in ServiceDesk Plus, what are the key elements in building an effective CMDB, how we could bulk import CIs and CI relationships into ServiceDesk Plus, and finally we have seen how the relationship works out from a problem or a change record, how it helps the approvers or the board members to plan the impact analysis using CMDB and approve accordingly. In ServiceDesk Plus, you can create and manage purchase orders and purchase requests in one place. Here is a sample workflow on how purchase order and purchase request works. Create a purchase order and submit it for approval. If the approval is approved, then from the purchase request, create a purchase order. Purchase order goes through approval process. Upon approval, you can order the purchase order and receive the items partially or fully from the vendor. Once received, place the invoice, secure the payments, and close the purchase order. So this is the same way we are going to see how to create a purchase order. First, I'm going to create a purchase request by defining the subject. If not a purchase request, you can create a service request. Once it is approved, you can tie that service request to the purchase order, and we're going to see how that is done too. So first, I'm creating a purchase request, and I'm saying I wanted to create a purchase request for Dell computers. I'm choosing the vendor, define the site, set the requested dates, choose the item, set the description, define the quantity, set the estimated cost, enable approvals, so you could have multi-stage approval over here. You can choose the approvers from the list of approver, click on add and save. I can choose between different filters to quickly view my purchase request. To this purchase request, if required, I can associate service requests. I can track the status of the purchase request approval and its history. Now once my purchase request is approved, the request is ready for further processing. So right from the purchase request, I'm creating a purchase order. And over here, there are similar purchase requests that was created earlier, and I can club those purchase requests together and create a new purchase order. But in today's case, I wanted to create a purchase order right from within this particular purchase request. So I click on Create PO. Once done, I can define my purchase order name. I can choose my shipping address and my billing address. Since the purchase order is created from the purchase request, the item and its quantity are already available. I can add the approver. I can add multiple levels of approval, and then I can click on Create Save Purchase Order. Emails are triggered and the purchase order is successfully being ordered, and the purchase order is at the level 1 process. Emails are triggered and the purchase order is pending for approval. Once the purchase order is approved, the approval status is established. Now the purchase order is ready for further processing. Now I'm going to order this PO to the vendor. So I'm going to email the vendor, fill in the details and click on Send. An email is sent to the vendor regarding the purchase order. The purchase order status is successfully changed to ordered. Once the vendor has processed the order and shipped the items back to the organization, I can start receiving the items. Upon receiving the items, I can define the quantity based on the items that's been shipped and receive it. So that would term it partially received or fully received. And if it is a computer, I can go ahead and add the service tag of that particular asset right while receiving the particular purchase order. And if I set the service tag as the barcode, this way the asset is not only added into my IT asset repository. Upon adding that asset into the domain by installing the agent, the asset information is scanned. It's going to update the asset database, but there is a purchase order with the barcode already present. So the system is going to overwrite the information and retain the purchase order with barcode and the newly scanned asset information into the asset database. Now, the status of my purchase order is items received. The next step is to provide the invoice and payment details back to the vendor, and this can be done by adding the invoice. Once I track in the system saying that the invoice is received, the status is updated, and once finally the invoice is received, I can track in the system saying that the payment is also done. Once these statuses are secured, the purchase order is all completed and it's ready for closure. I can go ahead and close the PO, and it's going to send me an email regarding the updates on this particular purchase order, and I'm successfully closing the purchase order. Now the purchase order is successfully closed. So we have seen how we could create a purchase request, tag the corresponding service requests right into the purchase request, and approve the purchase request. Once it is approved, it's ready for creating a purchase order, and we have seen how the purchase order is progressed. This way, we have discussed on the purchase management process in ServiceDesk Plus. Contract management. Contract management in ServiceDesk Plus helps you to track and maintain all your maintenance contracts in one place. You can add a new contract by clicking on Add New Contract, or you can also import contracts from a spreadsheet into ServiceDesk Plus. Creating contracts in ServiceDesk Plus is very easy. Click on New Contract, provide the details of what the contract is all about, choose the parent contract if applicable. If not, provide the contract ID, choose the type of contract, the vendor, associate assets that is required for this particular contract. You can filter assets based on different conditions. Once the assets are associated, define the active period of this particular contract. Enable notifications, add maintenance costs. If you want to add new email addresses, you can do so. Set the notification expiry in a sequential order. This way, upon the contract expiry dates, notifications will be triggered to the users accordingly. Click on Save and the contract is created. So let's go back and take a look at an existing contract that is already created. Just like as how we've created a contract for Dell, here is a contract for Apple workstations. All the contract information is added, the vendor details, along with the notification on how the notification has to be triggered. Here are the associated assets for this particular contract. If this contract is renewed, then the renewal details for the same contract can be found right into the renewals section. Child contracts holds all child or supporting contracts to the primary contracts, and that can be associated right within the parent contract. So this way, right from within the parent contract, I can track the renewal details and the child contract information in one place. I can print the contract or notify the owners or email the vendors right from within the same contract. Also, the contract information can also be accessed right from within the asset. So if I click on the asset, it takes me right into the assets CI section. I click on the contracts and I can track the primary and the renewal contract information in one place. We have now discussed how to track and manage contracts using ServiceDesk Plus. Apart from all the operations that ServiceDesk Plus offers out of box, there are certain integration aspects that ServiceDesk Plus offers. The integrations are of two types: between ServiceDesk Plus and other third-party tools, and between ServiceDesk Plus and ManageEngine tools. ServiceDesk Plus has an extended API using which you can perform integrations not just within ServiceDesk Plus and its modules to any other tools that has API support. Here is the list of API that we have for requests, likewise different operations on the request, change, project, solution, CMDB, admin, approvals, attachments, and a lot more. Please refer to our API documentation before proceeding with the integration. Using these APIs and with scripting operations, you can use the custom triggers in the incident management and custom triggers in the change management to perform integrations between ServiceDesk Plus incident or service tickets or ServiceDesk Plus change management with other tools. You can build in custom menus right into incident or service ticketing templates and perform ad hoc operations. When you're adding a menu, you can choose the roles that needs to have these privileges, the templates that needs to have this drop down available, and choose the type of file that you wanted to use and save. This way, right from those specific templates, you can have different operations performed. Apart from these scripting operations, there are direct product-to-product integrations that is offered right from within the admin section of ServiceDesk Plus. If you have any of these ManageEngine tools installed, please make sure that you integrate these tools for further benefits and operations. For instance, if you have a user onboarding process and if you have integrated ServiceDesk Plus with Active Directory Manager and Desktop Central, it would be beneficial for integration aspects. Here is a new joinee request, and if you have integrated ServiceDesk Plus with Desktop Central and Active Directory Manager Plus, if I go to Custom Actions, I not only get a lot of these integration actions available, but they are beneficial. Using Desktop Central and AD Manager Plus for a user onboarding process, I can create a user in AD right from within the service request from ServiceDesk Plus. This does not involve me switching between applications, toggling between URLs. Just from within a service request, I can create the user. I can provision apps. I can assign a device through Mobile Device Manager to the specific user. I can install or uninstall software. I can run custom scripts. I can provision or deprovision a device for the specific user. So I have all these options available right from within a specific service ticket. So I can choose which are all the templates that should have this specific drop-down listed. So this is the benefit of integrating ServiceDesk Plus with other ManageEngine tools. So this is one such example, and there are lots more with the integrations. So please make sure you integrate ManageEngine ServiceDesk Plus with other ManageEngine tools that's listed over here. And if you have any specific queries with the integration or its capabilities, please do reach out to us and we will be happy to assist you. Reporting in ServiceDesk Plus. We are now going to look into the power of reporting in ServiceDesk Plus. By default, there are pre-built reports that the product offers upon installation. These pre-built reports are available across all modules that ServiceDesk Plus offers. Apart from these pre-built reports, if you want to build in more reports, you can click on New Custom Reports. And in New Custom Reports, you could choose between tabular, matrix, summary reports, audit, or CI history reports. I'm choosing tabular reports, and again, to choose the module, you could choose between all requests. You could specify if it's incident or service, or you could choose any other module for that matter. Upon choosing the module, you could click on Proceed to Report Wizard, and here are the available columns that you could choose from. After choosing the columns, you could use filter options, and you could say based on the created time of the request or based on the request parameters, you can filter the reports. I can group the report based on different conditions. I can summarize the report based on any IDs, build in charts for this particular report. I click on Run the Report. Now my report is generated. It's a tabular report along with charts. I can quickly export this report in any format that I would want. I can print the report or view the graph alone. I can save this report. I can check what is the query that is used for this particular report using the show query. I can mail this report right away to my boss or to my engineers. So this way, using the new custom reports, I can build in a tabular report or a matrix report. Using query reports, you can build in custom query to generate different type of reports. Here are frequently asked reports that is bundled within the product. You can view the query and run the report. More reporting options are available in our pit stop. You could just search through our pit stop and get access to any reports that is required. All these saved reports can be scheduled. So to schedule a new report, just click on the report that is already saved and you can schedule this particular report. While scheduling, you can choose the frequency of the schedule, the type of output, and who needs to be emailed. Also, if the saved report is a matrix report or a chart-based report, I can add this report to the dashboard. So based on the module this report is generated for, I can add it right underneath this respective module. We have now discussed the different reporting options that ServiceDesk Plus offers its users.